Jennifer Bolt could feel exhaustion creeping through her body. Living on a farm and caring for animals brought her joy, but days like this reminded her just how demanding it could be. She had spent the entire day tending to sick animals and repairing the aging structures on the property. The farm had been passed down to her by her grandparents, and she had made it her mission to preserve it and ensure it thrived. As evening fell, Jennifer decided to end her day by visiting her favorite animal, her horse Champy. She had left him grazing while she worked and always saved him for last. Champy had a calming presence that provided her with a sense of peace, the perfect way to wind down after a long day. But as she approached the stables, something caught her eye, a small, dark figure perched on one of the poles. It was Morris, the shy cat she had adopted just weeks ago. Morris was not the social type. Despite Jennifer's efforts to integrate him with the other animals, he preferred to stay indoors, avoiding any interaction. But now, to her surprise, he stood near Champy, watching the horse with cautious curiosity. Jennifer stopped in her tracks, not wanting to disturb the unusual scene unfolding before her. If Morris noticed her, he might retreat to the house, ending the beautiful interaction she was witnessing. From her spot, Jennifer watched as Morris inched closer to Champy. The horse remained perfectly still, as if sensing the cat's hesitation and choosing not to scare him off. Morris seemed to be testing the waters, moving closer to Champy's head, his body tense with uncertainty. It was as though the cat wanted to provoke a reaction from the horse, perhaps to see if his fears were valid. Jennifer couldn't help but marvel at Champy's patience. Despite the cat's tentative and somewhat intrusive behavior, Champy stood his ground, calm and composed. It was clear that the horse was trying to make Morris feel safe, even though the cat's cautious advances were likely a bit irritating. In that moment, Jennifer felt a wave of admiration for the bond forming between the two animals. It was unexpected but heartwarming, a testament to the unique and gentle connections that can develop between creatures when given the chance. For Jennifer, it was a reminder of the quiet magic that made life on the farm so special, even on the most tiring of days. Several minutes passed and nothing changed. Jennifer, already feeling the exhaustion from her long day, decided it was time to head back. She felt a pang of sadness that she wouldn't get to spend time with Champy before the night set in, but she didn't want to disrupt the bond forming between the horse and the shy cat. Just as she turned to leave, Morris made a sudden move, something Jennifer never expected. Having spent her life around animals, Jennifer had seen her fair share of surprising behavior. Growing up on her grandparents' farm had taught her just how unique and unpredictable animals could be. She owned several cats over the years, but none had ever acted like Morris. Was this unusual behavior something she had overlooked in her other pets? Or was Morris just different? She couldn't be certain. After all, she wasn't an expert in feline behavior. While Jennifer loved all animals, horses had always held a special place in her heart. Their majestic stature, raw power, and grace fascinated her. When she was a teenager, her grandparents gifted her a pony, a cherished companion who brought her immense joy. Unfortunately, the pony passed away unexpectedly, leaving Jennifer heartbroken. The loss was so profound that she had sworn off owning another horse until she met Champy. The encounter with Champy was unexpected. Jennifer had accompanied a friend to a livestock auction and was about to leave when her friend urged her to take a closer look at a horse that had just been brought out. From the back of the room, Jennifer spotted its glossy brown coat and couldn't help but be captivated. As the staff led the horse around the auction ring, she felt an inexplicable pull. Champy was a former racehorse, retired after sustaining an injury during his last race. Jennifer hesitated to place a bid. The idea of taking on the care of an injured racehorse was daunting, and she wasn't sure if she was ready to commit to a horse again. Memories of her pony resurfaced, mingling with her doubts. Could she give this horse the life it deserved? As the auction progressed, Champy circled the room 3 times without receiving a single bid. Jennifer felt her heart sink. On impulse, She raised her card. The auctioneer's eyes lit up as he acknowledged her bid. Since no one else placed an offer, Champy was hers. The next day, Champy arrived at Jennifer's farm. She spent hours cleaning out the old stable that had once belonged to her pony, transforming it into a safe, comfortable space for her new companion. Jennifer wondered how Champy would adapt to his new life. She was keenly aware of the challenges retired racehorses often face, mistreatment and neglect once they are no longer useful. She resolved to give Champy the love and care he deserved, building a bond that would heal them both. Little did she know, Champy's presence would bring unexpected connections to her farm, including one with a timid cat named Morris. When Jennifer visited Champy later that day, her worries melted away. The horse was cautious as she approached but didn't shy away. Day by day, they grew closer, and Jennifer felt immense gratitude for having attended that auction. Bringing Champy home had been one of her best decisions. As Champy settled into his new surroundings, his personality began to shine. He was cheerful, affectionate, and surprisingly sociable, even with visitors to the farm. What touched Jennifer the most was his gentle and welcoming demeanor toward other animals. Champy seemed to thrive on forming connections, always eager to make new friends. This warmth deepened Jennifer's bond with him, and soon they became inseparable. For Jennifer, Champy became more than just a horse. He was a source of comfort and joy. Watching him flourish in his new home reignited her passion for providing animals with a safe, loving environment. As the months went by, she began considering adopting another animal. She wasn't sure what type of pet she wanted, but she knew her home could offer another creature a fresh start. 7 months after Champy's arrival, Jennifer visited her local animal shelter. Wandering through the facility, she listened as staff shared stories of how each animal had ended up there. In a quiet corner, something caught her eye, a small black shape curled up tightly. Curious, she moved closer and realized it was a cat. It barely acknowledged her presence, its indifference piquing her interest. The staff explained that the cat, estimated to be around 8 or 9 months old, had been abandoned as a kitten. A shelter volunteer had rescued him from the streets, malnourished and weak. Though they had nursed him back to health, the cat showed little interest in humans or other animals, preferring to play alone with toys. His aloofness had discouraged potential adopters, and the shelter was beginning to lose hope he would ever find a permanent home. But Jennifer wasn't deterred. Something about the cat's quiet demeanor resonated with her. She decided to adopt him, naming him Morris. A week later, she brought him home, armed with advice from the shelter staff on how to help him adjust. For Morris, the transition was overwhelming. He had never experienced a true home or the companionship of other animals. As a result, he remained distant, retreating to quiet corners and avoiding Jennifer's attempts to bond. Introducing him to Champy and the other farm animals proved equally challenging. Morris kept his distance, uninterested in building connections. Jennifer was patient, understanding that Morris needed time to adapt. Though progress was slow, she refused to give up. She hoped that one day Morris would feel secure enough to explore the friendships that awaited him on the farm. Morris had quickly developed a routine after arriving at Jennifer's farm. Most days, he would sit on the front porch, soaking in the view before retreating back inside. The porch became his favorite spot, offering a sense of peace in his unfamiliar surroundings. Jennifer often spotted him there after her long days of work, quietly observing the world around him. One morning, just a few days after Morris was adopted, he ventured out to his usual perch on the porch. Jennifer, already up and tending to the farm, had let Champy out of his stable to roam freely. Morris, however, had never met the horse before. When he caught sight of the towering, unfamiliar figure staring at him, he froze in shock. Startled by Champy's size, Morris quickly bolted back inside before the horse could approach him. The next morning, Morris hesitated at the door. He wasn't sure if the horse would still be there, and the memory of their last encounter made him wary. But the porch had become a comforting retreat, and he wasn't ready to give it up. Gathering his courage, Morris crept back outside and, to his surprise, found Champy waiting for him. The horse, curious but careful, stood a few feet away, his large, expressive eyes fixed on the small cat. From the moment Champy saw Morris the day before, he had taken an instant liking to the she-feline. Now, he was determined to see him again. Morris, unsure of what to make of the persistent horse, cautiously sat on the porch. Champy inched closer, gently nudging Morris with his nose in an attempt to interact. But Morris remained aloof, refusing to acknowledge the horse as he continued to enjoy his quiet time. Undeterred, Champy stayed nearby, his patience unwavering. It wasn't until Jennifer came to lead him back to the stable that the horse reluctantly left. The next day, and every morning after that, Champy waited by the porch, hoping to win over his elusive new friend. Jennifer found the horse's fascination with Morris amusing but not entirely surprising. She knew how much Champy loved making friends and hoped his gentle persistence would eventually break through Morris's guarded demeanor. At first, Morris tried to maintain his distance, determined to remain indifferent. But Champy's friendly and persistent efforts began to wear him down. Morris started lingering on the porch longer, watching the horse with growing curiosity. Over time, he grew comfortable enough to venture closer, eventually making his way to the stables where Champy spent much of his day. Before long, Morris began spending hours near Champy, silently observing or lounging in the hay. While he still wasn't entirely sure what to make of the towering horse, Champy's unwavering kindness had started to win him over. For the first time, Morris felt the warmth of companionship, discovering a friendship he never realized he needed. Together, the unlikely duo found comfort in each other's presence, their bond slowly transforming into an enduring connection. As Morris and Champy's bond deepened, Morris started to open up to Jennifer as well. He frequently joined her on visits to the stables, where the trio played together until the day's work was done. Spending time with Champy brought Morris out of his shell. He no longer hid from visitors and began to seek out more moments with Jennifer, showing a newfound confidence and ease. Despite his growing comfort with others, Morris's most cherished moments were still those spent with Champy. One day, as if to solidify their friendship, Morris made a bold move. He leaped onto Champy's back and clung tightly. Champy stood still, nodding gently in approval, signaling his trust and acceptance. For Morris, this was a moment of pure trust, knowing Champy would never harm him. For Champy, it was the culmination of his efforts to win over a friend. Jennifer, witnessing this extraordinary moment, couldn't hold back her tears. It was a touching reminder of the bond animals could form. From that day on, Morris and Champy were inseparable. Whether exploring the paddock or simply lounging under the shade of a tree, they were always together. Morris loved riding on Champy's back, his tiny paws gripping the horse's mane with confidence. When they reached Morris's favorite tree on the farm, Champy patiently waited as the cat climbed up and explored before hopping back down. Not even the weather could deter their adventures. On rainy days, Jennifer would dress them in rain gear, and the duo would continue their playful escapades through the misty fields. They ate together, drank together, and often napped side by side in the stables. At night, Jennifer had to work hard to convince Morris to come inside, as he much preferred staying close to his best friend. Over time, their bond became a symbol of resilience and unwavering friendship to Jennifer. She found inspiration in their companionship, which reminded her of the joy and hope animals can bring even in the toughest times. As the years passed, Morris transformed from a timid, abandoned kitten into a confident, playful cat. Champy, once a retired racehorse, became a steadfast guardian and friend, always ensuring Morris felt safe and loved. Their story became a beacon of hope for others as Jennifer shared their journey with the world. People were captivated by the unlikely friendship, proving that love and kindness transcend differences. The farm thrived as Jennifer adopted more animals, 3 additional horses and another cat. Champy welcomed the new arrivals with his characteristic warmth, and Morris found new playmates to share his mischievous streak. Still, the bond between Champy and Morris remained unshakable. No matter how busy or crowded the farm became, they always returned to each other. In the end, their friendship was a testament to the beauty of connection. For Jennifer, it was a daily reminder of the profound impact love and companionship can have, even between the most unlikely of friends. Champy and Morris proved that sometimes the most meaningful relationships are the ones we least expect.